Africa's most beautiful campus. Cautious, vigilant, progressive, a good time against all oppression. Forward ever, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle, great effect. I love you, there's only one great effect in the universe. Another great effect is a counterfeit. Great, 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 great.
The Dean of Faculties here, the Directors of Institutes, my colleagues, the gentlemen of the private.
About 6 minutes to happen. It's the imperativeness of holistic rebranding of Nigeria educational system.
When somebody introduced our colleagues who trek from the gate to this place, I was wondering in my mind, what did I do that I was not also introduced trekking from the gate to this place? I'm inspired visiting this university today. It is acclaimed the most beautiful university in Africa.
Against all oppression, forward ever, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle, great effect. I love you, there's only one great effect in the universe.
We move on to the next item, and that is the lead paper presenter. May I humbly request that to stand and remain standing. That is Professor Yusuf Abdulrahim, and I want to call on Dr. Muraina Olugbenga Obiyefa.
You love him.
Please, I want you to record this scene very well. And please, I'm not joking, and I mean it. Cameraman, do me a favor. When I call his name and the reaction of the students, just give me that clip. And I'm going to show you the last one. Please sit down. Educational elders we have in the University of Nigeria. You have shown that in his presence for my brother Rhino. There are some lecturers that are too acidic to students. When they see students in the corridor, they lambast and abuse them. But I'm very much sure that if Manuel were to go gubernatorial today, the students will vote for him. I've noted that, and I'm going to report to appropriately to that.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, earlier represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, distinguished members of the podium, already established protocol, creates Nigerian students. It gives me a pleasure this afternoon to stand in front of this August visitors in the month of April to read the citation of an enigma in the field of education. The enigma is not a person than my national president, Professor Abdurrahim Yusuf. He is a distinguished professor of social studies in the Department of Social Studies, Social Science Education, University of Ilorin, Nigeria. He holds the Nigerian Certificate in Education in Social Studies and Economics in 1984 from Kwara State College of Education, Oro. He proceeded to the University of Ilorin, where he bagged a bachelor's degree in social studies, a master's degree in curriculum study with specialties in social studies, and a PhD in social studies in the year 1991, 1998, and 2004 respectively. As his understanding, he has to his credit over 70 articles which are published in local, national, and international reputable journals. He is an editor and reviewer of many local, national, and regional journals, including the International Assembly of the National Council for the Social Studies, NCSS. His area of interest includes but not limited to pedagogy, curriculum studies, peace education, environmental issues, social issues, and other important areas. He has successfully supervised many undergraduate projects and 19 master dissertations, including 13 PhD theses at the postgraduate level, of which his latest PhD product is part of his entourage that followed him to this occasion. Professor Yusuf is an active member of several professional bodies, including is the current national president of the Social Studies Education Institute of Nigeria, SOSA. He was the former national secretary of SOSA. He's the one that handed over the baton to me. He's a member of the Issue of Education Society of Nigeria, which is an affiliate of the International Society for the Issue of Education. He's a member of the International Association of Student Affairs and Services, with its headquarters in Belgium. He's a member of the United States of America National Council for the Social Studies. He's a fellow National Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management, among others. Mr. Bajanosa, though in absentia now, Professor Yusuf is equally a man of wealth of administrative experience. He is the current chairman, University of Ilorin Faculty of Education Retreat Committee. He is an external assessor to several institutions, including FCE, Oyo, University of Jos, Plateau State, Delta State University, Abraka, FCE Zuba, University of Lagos, and so on and so forth. Apart from being the current national president of SOSA, he was once the dean, Student Affairs, University of Ilorin. He was once the provost, Kwara State College of Education, Ilorin. He was once the president, University of Ilorin Amicable Cooperative Society, desk officer, secretary, committee of Faculty of Education, in collaboration with Virginia State University, USA. He was a national consultant, educational sector support program in Nigeria, among others. Professor Yusuf is an enigma, as I earlier said. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a teacher, and a mentor. He's a member of the podium. I hereby present to you Professor Abdurrahim Yusuf, as the newspaper presenter for this conference.
the Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academics, the Dean Faculty of Education, the Acting Director of the Institute of Education, eminent professors present, distinguished academics, great event. When somebody introduced our colleagues who trek from the gate to this place, I was wondering in my mind, what did I do that I was not also introduced trekking from the gate to this place?
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't know.
I'm inspired visiting this university today. It is acclaimed the most beautiful university in Africa. But what inspired me more is that this is the only university that has put a Luther, officially recognized jargon, in the anthem of the university. I'm going through your anthem to say Aluta to fight all forms of oppression. When we were asked to come down our vehicle to trek, we didn't know that there was an oppression in this university. As law-abiding citizens of this country, we came down and we parked our car elsewhere, so we had to trek. But when I was listening to the anthem of the university, I could see why. Because it is officially recognized. Thank you very much. I'd already explained to the keynote presenter that I was not happy leaving before my paper presentation, because I have a lot of questions to raise. As a keynote presenter, it's like a Jonah. There is no biology expert that can explain the digestive system of fish than Jonah. The keynote presenter is like Jonah. I'm just a biology expert. Because you will see that he dabbled into all aspects of rebranding. At the end of the day, nobody talked about what caused rebranding. Why do we rebrand? Nobody said anything about it. You are not rebranding because you just want to rebrand. Certain things must have caused problems that will warrant rebranding. But you must not forget the wise words system as well as the roles of stakeholders in transforming the education system and the strategies for promoting collective responsibility in transforming the Nigerian education system and the roles of monitoring and evaluation in measuring the success of collective efforts in transforming this system. Nigerian education system has been discussed by all of us. There will be no need for me to repeat it. We talk of 6334. Whether you change it to alphabet from the digit, then you must know that you have not changed anything. What you call 6, everybody knows is primary. What you call 3, we know is junior secondary. What you call 3 again, we know is senior secondary. What you call 4 is tertiary, and that is optional. And that is why the years vary from 4 to 6 years. It's optional. Despite the government effort to provide education, many families are still unable to afford it. This has resulted in high number of school dropouts, particularly in the rural areas and in the north. Furthermore, education quality in Nigeria has been a major concern, with inadequate infrastructure, poorly trained teachers, outdated curricula among the challenges confronting the system. Mr. Chairman, sir, permit me to play a clip to see the sorry state of Nigerian education system so that we can appreciate where we find ourselves today.
Nigeria's education system is faced with many problems, ranging from poor funding to lack of infrastructure. The budget allocation to the sector has remained low for many decades, and it is far below the UNESCO standards. For instance, the federal government allocated 742.5 billion naira to education in the 2021 budget, out of the total estimate of 13.08 trillion naira.
Nigerian fathers are teaching in our secondary schools, teaching SS2, SS3. I mean, in Nigeria, in fact, Ekiti, to be specific, has that issue. S75 is teaching in secondary school. So our problems are many. I shudder when I think of what we really need to do to overhaul this educational system. The people teaching our students should be excellent, stellar individuals.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Arosa Primary School in the heart of Benin, Apapa Road. I'm here this morning because I came to park my car at the compound and I saw some children. So I thought maybe it was an abandoned school. Only for me to find out that it's a functional school and kids are actually having class. Right now they're in break. As you can see, it's raining and this is a class where people are. This is a class where people are taking, children are taking lecture. In the heart of Benin, this is a class where children are taking lectures. Something like this is not good. This is not good at all. The government has to come to the rescue of this school right now because this is a...
The current senior secondary education curriculum was introduced to schools in 2011. The junior and senior secondary school curricula has been adjusted to no longer meeting the goals of education in terms of human capital development, job creation, and poverty eradication. 10 years down the line, there is compelling need to meet internationally agreed goals and ensure the acquisition of competencies and skills that will lay the foundation for vocational and entrepreneurial development in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. These are some of the challenges that we are facing in this country. And all of us are happy here, watching them suffer. we must always understand that there are a lot of challenges and that all of us must come together to provide solutions. And that is what we are attempting today. So I must thank the Institute of Education for coming up with this conference. When you listen to what you have on the clip, the first one was inadequate funding. The UNESCO at least stated that 26% of the total earning must be allocated to education. But what do we have? Just about 7%. Then what do we expect? What do we expect? Nigeria allocated only 7.1% of its national budget to education in 2019 and lower it to 5%, 5.6% in 2023. Then what do you expect? Another challenge that we have in our education system is the low quality teachers. You heard that professor, he said a senior secondary school student teaching secondary school. Then what do we expect? And we are talking of low quality. If the quality must improve, then the caliber of teachers that we have, even the UNESCO observed that we still have shortage of teachers in Nigeria, despite the fact that the government has placed embargo on the employment of academics in the universities and teachers at lower level. This shortage is exacerbated by inadequate teacher training, which results in poor teaching and learning outcomes. Then the infrastructure. We saw what happened in Benin, the heart of Benin City. Infrastructure deficiency in the Nigerian education system have also been documented. Many schools lack basic amenities like classrooms, restrooms, electricity and running water, which has a negative impact on the learning environment. And as a result, students learn under trees or in dilapidated structures, neither of which is conducive to learning. Then we have our outdated curriculum. The current curriculum developed in 1981 is insufficient for preparing students for the demand of the 21st century. It does not provide students with the skills they need to thrive in a fast-changing world, such as critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. Furthermore, the curriculum fails to account for students' diverse cultural backgrounds and needs, resulting in disparities in learning outcomes. For example, the current curriculum does not reflect Nigeria's cultural and linguistic diversities, with a heavy emphasis on the English language and Western education. When you listen to the keynote presenter, he mentioned it. But the funny thing about it, he's also foreign in his outlook. It's also foreign in his outlook. You cannot teach what you do not preach. But you discover that we in Nigeria, we are more Eurocentric than Afrocentric. Student innovation and engagement suffer as a result of curriculum lack of cultural relevance, resulting in lower learning outcomes. I think this is the university where Bafakunwa conducted his experiment on the use of indigenous language to teach the subject. I'm also conducting a study now. We have what we call culturally relevant pedagogy for the grant we are pursuing. and we want to conduct that study and see the effectiveness of how we can bring in our culture into our teaching. Then the poor learning outcomes. The poor learning outcomes have resulted in Nigeria's poor educational quality, including the high rate of school dropouts, low enrollment rates in higher education, and poor performance in the national and international examinations. This has impeded the country's progress and development, as educated citizens are critical to a national growth and prosperity. Now, we have found out why there's need for rebranding. Now, let us look at the roles of stakeholders in transforming the education system. And who are these stakeholders? We have the government, the private sectors, the civil society organizations, the parents, the teachers, the students, even the laymen on the street. They have roles to play. If you look at the government bears the primary responsibility for providing quality education to its citizens, according to the Nigerian National Policy on Education 2013. The government develops the educational policies, allocates funds for education, and ensures that schools are adequately staffed and equipped. The government also provides educational system with a regulatory framework, ensuring that standards are met and that education is available to all regardless of socio-economic status. The question before all of us, is the government performing its role? That's the question that we must all answer. But who will tell the government to his face that the government has not been fulfilling its responsibility? And that is why in conferences like this, we need to be inviting all the stakeholders. Let us invite them as guest speakers, guests of honor, guests everything, so that at the end of the day, they will go back with something. You will see that conferences are mere platform for academic exercises. We need to take our communique to them. Just like what George Bush said after the collapse of the World Trade Center. We must bring them to justice. But if we cannot bring them to justice, let's take justice to them. If we cannot bring the government into our conferences, let's take our communique to them, so that they will know that we know what we are doing. The private sector organizations can play an important role in school financing and resource provision. Private sector organizations can collaborate with schools to provide funding for infrastructure development, teacher training, curriculum development. They can also offer scholarship and bursary to students, thereby improving access to education and lowering the number of school dropouts. As a former provost, I had a very beautiful experience. It was beautiful because it only proved at the end of the day that if you want good for the people, the government will hate you. And among the people you are together, they will also hate you. Some banks, I invited all the banks of the college to a meeting and asked them, please, let's go around and show me where your presence is in this campus. After going around, they didn't see anything. I said, then what have you been doing for the college? We have options. It's either you provide us with social responsibility or we don't bank with you again. at the end of the day, the banks, they started bringing one project or the other. This one we say, okay, 4 blocks of classroom. This one we say, internet facilities. This one we say, I'm going to improve on the computers that you have there, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, I didn't know that I was already hurting my principal officer. Because personal portfolio was their culture before my arrival. After 3 years, both the council and the principal officer they connect together, and I was removed. I was removed. Professor Oguyemi, the former National ASUU president, when he came for accreditation in the university, and he met me, he said, "Comrade, because if you go to University of Ilorin, the only person that is recognized as comrade." In fact, people didn't know that I have another name. They will say, "Where is comrade?" He said, "Let me congratulate you." I said, "Over what? That you have been removed." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you have not compromised."
No query, no nothing.
I was in my office because I always stay in the office late in the night to ensure that everything is in place before going home. But God has given me the beauty of life that I will be the first person in school. 7:30, you see me there. I discovered that the only people that appreciated me are the students. If I come to work 7:30, I don't know how many hands anybody has to come to work after it. Thank God. We thought we can rebrand that college. But the system is so corrupt that any attempt to rebrand it will be seen as abnormal person. But the banks, all the banks, one thing I said, put your name there, let them know that you are the owner of this one, you are the owner of that one. The government has nothing to show for us here, only telephone and you people, and you should be happier. So the private sector can be mobilized. We are going to look at the strategies that we can use too. All these ones are just the roles of the stakeholders. Then the civil society organizations. The civil society organizations can advocate for and support educational policies. According to the British Council report of 2019, civil society organizations can work to promote education as a fundamental human right and advocate for increased education funding. This can also help schools by providing teaching materials, books, and other resources. Furthermore, they can organize extracurricular activities such as sport, cultural events, which can benefit students' overall development. Then we have our parents. The parents play an important role in the Nigerian education system. According to Okebukola, parents play an important role in ensuring that their children attend school on a regular basis and are properly equipped for learning. Parents can get involved in the school governance by joining PTA or serving on the school board. They can also help their children learn by creating a welcoming home environment, supervising homework, and encouraging their children to be interested in school. Then our teachers. Teachers are critical stakeholders in the Nigerian education system. According to the UNESCO report, teachers are responsible for providing students with quality education and ensuring that learning outcomes are met. Teachers can help to shape the education system by participating in curriculum development and continue professional development. They can also mentor and support new teachers, which can help to improve teaching quality in Nigerian schools. How many professors can boast to have mentees? How many professors? And the question is, how many people have we brought up? How many people have we pulled up? And how many people have we carried up? As professors, one day we are going to leave. These young ones will take over from us. The future we are building is always in the children that we are teaching today. You know where they are today, but you don't know where you will find them tomorrow. Definitely, the type of training that you put in their heads is what will guide you in the future. Unilori went to this Obudu Ranch. The Vice Chancellor went there. Fortunately, the boy in control of this overhead something was a product of the University of Ilorin. And the Dean of Engineering was also part of the entourage. Then they were to enter. They said the Vice Chancellors will enter first. No, the Dean, you train this boy. If you are going to die first. Whatever that we do for them, definitely will affect us in the future. The students, they are the primary beneficiaries of the Nigerian education system. According to Daramala 2020, students play a critical role in ensuring that learning outcomes are met. Students can get involved in school governance by serving on the student council or as class representatives. They can also provide feedback on the effectiveness of the school-based teaching and learning. Students can also participate in extracurricular activities to further develop their talents and skills. Many people will say you overpamper these students when you involve them in governance. But involving them in governance is training them for the future. We must prepare our students for the future. We don't prepare future for the students. If you prepare future for the students, they will destroy it. But prepare them for the future, so that by the time they get to the future, the harder they come, the stronger we are. Now let us look at strategies for promoting collective responsibility in transforming the Nigerian education system. The Nigerian education system is in desperate need of reform in order to provide a better future for the citizens. This necessitates collective responsibilities and collaborative effort on the part of all the stakeholders. In this section, let us discuss those strategies. 1. Creating partnerships between the stakeholders. Partnership among the stakeholders have been identified as critical for promoting collective responsibility in the Nigerian education system. Collaboration between the schools, the government and the private organization can increase access to resources and ensure that everyone has access to a high quality education. For example, the Nigerian government can collaborate with private organizations to provide technology-enabled learning tools to schools in rural areas, thereby improving the educational qualities in these areas. This is very, very important. Increasing public awareness and participation. Public awareness campaigns have also been identified as an effective tool for encouraging collective responsibility in the transformation of our education system. Town hall meetings, social media campaigns, community dialogues are examples of this campaign. The Nigerian government launched a nationwide Back to School campaign in 2017 with the goals of raising public awareness about the value of education and encouraging parents to send their children to school. Such campaign can serve as a catalyst for change by encouraging stakeholders to take an active role in transforming the education system. Providing incentive for collaboration. Incentives have also been shown to be effective in increasing collective responsibility in the education system. Tax breaks for private organizations that invest in the education system. Scholarship for students and award for teachers who demonstrate excellence in their work are examples of this incentive. In Lagos State, the government established an annual award for teachers who exhibit excellence in their work, and with the goal of fostering an excellent culture in the education system and motivating teachers to provide quality education to their students. Such incentive can motivate the stakeholders to participate actively in the transformation of education system. I don't know whether the culture is in Ife. At the end of every year, we have the best teacher award in the University of Ilorin. And a car, a brand new car, is always the prize. A brand new car. Every year. The best lecturer of the year, you always get a car. So if you don't have money, but you have your brain, you get a car. Monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation are crucial in determining the success of a collective effort to transform Nigeria's education system. Stakeholders can track progress and identify areas of improvement using performance metrics and data analysis and feedback mechanisms. Metrics of performance are crucial for monitoring and evaluating the education system. They can be quantitative or qualitative in nature, and they assess various aspects of education system such as enrollment rate, graduation rate, teacher quality, and learning outcomes. In Nigeria, for example, the National Examination Council administers national examination to secondary school students to assess their academic performance. These results of these examinations provide stakeholders with information about the country's educational quality. Data analysis is critical in monitoring and evaluating the Nigerian education system. To make informed decisions about policies and initiatives, stakeholders must collect and analyze data. Data can be gathered from a variety of sources, such as student evaluation, teacher evaluation, school inspection. The Universal Basic Education Commission, for example, collects data on enrollment rate, teacher quality, and the school infrastructure in Nigerian schools. The information is used to inform policies and initiatives aimed at improving the country's educational quality. Monitoring and evaluating the Nigerian education system requires feedback mechanism. When you conduct your research, there's also what we refer to as feedback mechanism. This mechanism allows stakeholders to receive feedback on their performance and make necessary adjustments. Student survey, teacher evaluation, and community engagement are all good places to get feedback. The Lagos State government, for example, established the Lagos Eco project to improve the quality of education in the state. The project includes a feedback mechanism that allows the stakeholder to provide the feedback on the teachers and the school administrators' performance. We cannot continue to talk, we will not end it, but there is need for conclusion. Sustained collective responsibility is essential for transforming Nigeria's education system. It is critical to involve all the stakeholders in the effort to improve the education system and educational quality. More research is needed to identify the best practices and develop policies that encourage collaborative efforts in transforming Nigeria's education system. Nigeria can achieve a better future for a citizen if collective responsibility is maintained. As we conclude this conference on transforming Nigerian education system through collective responsibility, let us remember Malcolm X's words that education is the passport to the future. Our children are our country's future, and it is our responsibility to ensure that they have the knowledge and skills they need to succeed. We heard from experts in the field, educators, parents, and students throughout the conference who share their experience and insight on how we can improve Nigerian education system. Many of them have talked about the teacher training, infrastructure, curriculum development, and funding. There is clearly much work to be done. But we must remember that we are all stakeholders in the education system. And meaningful change will require a collaborative effort to transform the education system and give our children the best possible future. We must continue to work together, collaborate, and innovate. I must thank everyone who will take part in this conference. But we must leave this conference inspired and committed to the task at hand. We must also work together to make Nigeria education brighter future. Nigeria is great. I will make it greater, and we all will make it greater.